Hello everyone, this is Ryan Morgan, also known as the Lovebat, here with you once again. And real quickly here, I just want to go ahead and thank everyone, including like my subscribers and friends that I know on here, for being really patient with me after it's been over like 5 months since I've actually had a chance to make like an original video or do anything like that. And I just want to go ahead and thank you for being so patient with me, because I haven't exactly had a chance over the last several months. Because one, now I'm living on my own, and two, I've had to do quite a bit of traveling recently, so sometimes it makes it like really difficult to go ahead and be able to do videos all the time or as much as I want to. And also to the fact that right now I don't technically have my own computer. However, I will have my own computer probably sometime in early January after Christmas, because my birthday is actually just shortly after Christmas, and now that I finally have the money to get my own computer, I'm going to go be getting and doing that, and I'm going to probably go ahead and get a Windows, even if Windows 7 does have its fair share of problems. I want to be able to play games and stuff on it too, so that's probably what I'm going to be doing shortly after Christmas. But anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and get that out there real quick, just to let everyone know that I am real appreciative of being patient and everything like that, and waiting for me to go ahead and do something like this or make another video. Now, as to what this video is actually about, it is going to be a review for the new movie out in theaters right now called Avatar. I'm sure you all probably seen trailers for it already, or pictures, movie posters, things like that, and you got blue people and all the special effects and CG things and everything like that. And I will tell you this, the special effects alone are probably worth seeing this movie, even if you're not into the sci-fi genre or into these sort of, you know, it's not really as much of a good versus evil thing. I mean, in the general aspect, I mean, some people have compared it like, oh, it's just a Lord of the Rings ripoff, or it's just based on Pocahontas, or, you know, all these other different movies that are out there. Some people have said, oh no, they just stole it from The Matrix. It doesn't really make much sense why people would do that, but personally I'm just going to go ahead and say that if you go ahead and see it, you should go ahead and see it in 3D, because that really helps with the, I don't know, I guess you could just go ahead and say it helps put the CGI or the CG or animation, whatever, to go ahead and put it to use to its full effect. Basically what you do if you watch it in 3D, things will appear closer than they are, things, even the smallest little things, will appear in far more detail, and you will get to see them sort of in a different environment. You will get to see sort of all the shapes and the sizes more, other than just seeing it on the screen. It seems like an actual environment. Trees look like trees. You know, like little jellyfish would look like little jellyfish. You know, a dog would look like a dog in 3D. If you see it with the 3D glasses, like this, these are my 3D glasses that I wore during the Avatar 3D screening, and they are obviously not anything like the paper counterparts that you probably saw with the old blue and red little things, and they kind of look like geeky Steve Urkel glasses. But, you know, I mean, they're comfortable and they work really, really good, and it was really awesome to get to see it in 3D with these things. And then here's also the ticket, and it's not actually very expensive anyway. It didn't cost me very much money to just go see it in 3D. Now, while not every little bit of information is exactly fresh in my mind, pretty much what the movie is actually about is sort of about like a mining corporation that goes ahead and sets out for this one planet, and they're going ahead and trying to mine an extremely valuable mineral that's sort of like millions and millions per kilo, or like a, I don't know, I guess it means like a kilogram or something like that. But basically you have this mining corporation goes to this planet called Pandora to go ahead and do so. However, there's sort of this tribal kind of stuff known as a Na'vi that live there and reside there. It's basically like their home, and the forest and the trees, and, you know, it's like their environment. I mean, you couldn't really call it a natural habitat because they're sort of self-aware beings. But, you know, it's probably pretty much their homeland and their home world, kind of like, you know, Earth is to humans. And basically they have sort of this mining corporation has this avatar program, which basically they go ahead and have people that turn into, or not exactly turn into, they use these machines to sort of connect their mind with a different body known as an avatar, which looks exactly like these blue creatures that are known, that I already told you about, called the Na'vi. And so they go ahead and have them, and they set out to go ahead and learn about their language or their culture and try and get inside there, so that way they can eventually try and convince them to move out so they can go and mine this very valuable mineral. Like I said, it's a corporation that's trying to make money. However, as the film goes on, it sort of develops the plot within the main characters, and the sort of, you know, it has like sort of not exactly as much of a romance plot. It kind of does with the main characters, with some of them. However, with the Na'vi and stuff, their culture is significantly different. So there's lots of different things that happen that are very interesting in this film. One thing that you have with this movie is you have the military in it, and the primary antagonist of the movie is a colonel of some sorts that is really wanting to go ahead and clear the Na'vi out of their homeland so that way they can mine this mineral for one of the people is like the top dog of the corporation that you also see in the film. And he is also sort of considered, I guess, an antagonist or sort of not exactly an evil guy, more of just a greedy guy who just wants to be in this for the money. He's not trying to exactly wipe everyone out, but that's his primary goal, is to make money with finding this mineral and mining it and refining it. While the colonel, on the other sort, just sort of, he seems to, I don't know, he's just kind of one of those guys that really probably likes the violence, or he probably wants some action, and he doesn't care, he just wants to get the job done. And then you have the protagonist, which is sort of more of a corporal, that's a disabled Marine, who ends up getting picked up for this Avatar program, and they go ahead and have him sent in there to go ahead and try and find out, more about their culture, try to learn their language. And because the Na'vi actually have their own language, that's one thing that James Cameron did for this film, is that the Na'vi have their own language. And one of the more significant things of having to deal with a different language is that in order for them to go and get inside there, is that they have to have different scientists or people like that have to try and learn their language and study it, so that way they can go and try and teach people it, write books, and so that way the people can learn the language without having to go ahead and go in there, basically blind, because if they don't know anything about it, they can't understand them, and there's a big communication barrier there, and they're not going to be able to accomplish their goal of getting the Na'vi to leave. And there's a few characters in the movie that already know the language, but they're more of scientists, and they're not really part of the military, so to speak, although I'm sure that they probably had military training. But basically, to put it down to this, is that I thought overall the plot I thought was actually very, very good, and that it was a little bit more actually story-driven than you would probably think it is, because even though seeing it in 3D probably makes it look visually the best, and it's like a visual feast, like Thanksgiving is a big visual feast, and you could really feed off of it, and it's really, really awesome looking, with the 3D glasses, and seeing everything probably as it was meant to be seen in computer animation or computer-generated images or anything like that, because most of the time you can't even tell that it's just a CGI image or anything like that, because it looks so real when you go ahead and see it like that. And just to be on the record here, this is the first movie that I've ever seen in 3D that's like computer animated or anything, so I'm going to just say that I'm very impressed with my first time ever viewing a movie in the theater in 3D. Now, if you want to find out more specifically about this film, I would suggest that you probably search like message boards or go to the Internet Movie Database that has generally most of the plot on it. Wikipedia also has that too, but IMDb also has lots of message boards that you can go ahead and search and go ahead and find out either more about the movie, why people might like it, dislike it, and all the other different arguments and stuff like that, because the message boards are full of different sorts of discussions and things like that. You'd be amazed how much people talk about the stupidest things on there. But if you want to go ahead and look and find out what people think about it, why you should watch it, why some people might hate it, and everything like that, then go ahead and search on there. I'll go ahead and put a link down here at the video description. It's sort of diagonal now. They changed the widescreen format to the primary format, so I got a point down here diagonally just that way. I'd have to say that overall I'm very, very impressed with this film. I would highly recommend that you go see it and see it for yourself. And, it would probably be worthy of making a lot of Oscar nominations, if not winning Best Picture. Personally, I think that it should win Best Picture. I don't know if it will. I'm not exactly sure what the competition is this year. I haven't actually seen too many films because I just don't really want to go to the theater anymore. Occasionally I might rent something on DVD. But, I think that's probably worth winning Best Picture, in my opinion. I guess you could just say that after The Dark Knight didn't even get nominated for Best Picture last year, that you don't really know what's going to happen, even if it gets nominated for a lot of Oscars. For some reason, it doesn't really mean that it'll ever get nominated for Best Picture. But, you never know. I just hope that it does, though, and I really think it deserves it. Overall, I would really have to say that I give this movie a big 10 out of 10, basically, and that it's really worth seeing, especially if you go see it. Make sure you see it in 3D. Like I said, it is well worth it. Paying a few extra dollars for a ticket is well worth seeing it in 3D because you get the full experience for it. So go out and see it, make your own opinion, and I hope to hear feedback from you in the comments section down there, whether you liked it or didn't like it. You can disagree with me if you want. I really liked it. It doesn't mean you have to, but I do hope that you at least go and see it because I really love this movie. And I'll go ahead and sign off for now, and thanks for watching.